right, Jay. What is like? You have your list. I have my list. We'll just take turns going through it. What is you the worst Friday the 13th mask of all the
all the masks? 100%. I mean, and I was going to put the Backhead part, but it's not. The Backhead Jason is really unique and different and special in a lot of people's hearts and farts for a reason. So it would never be that one. But I always thought that the worst mask was Jason Goes to Hell. And I know there's a lot of love for them in the deep dark of the crustaceans in your underwear. But the thing about that mask was barely there. It was just he had a fat fucking swollen tumor-like face, and that mask was barely covering it. Look, Jason had been on the Pringles diet for a long time at that point, so the mask was barely on there. But the second thing is, and I, we're included. People bitched a lot about the Rob Zombie Halloween 2 Michael Myers mask, which the fact that he barely covered his face at one point. Granted, Jason's a zombie, but still, it's barely there. It looks cool with the silver look, because the cover art for Jason Goes to Hell is fucking badass. Like that silver, it's pure goddamn silver. That motherfucker went platinum. If they had gone with that full-on platinum mask, I'd be down for it. But when it's barely there, I hated that mask. That's my worst mask of all time.
Same. We do agree on this one. That is also my dead last mask because it looks stupid as hell. Like it looks dumb as hell. It doesn't fit his face. Like his face bubbled over the top of it. Like if you see here, it looks like his face got just fucking melted like a goddamn. Like if you put a penny inside of a goddamn meatball.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like
it did look like that. It looked like a hot pocket getting ready to explode. like you put that bitch in the microwave for way too long. Like when you open it up, it's all bubbly and almost ready to fucking pop out the middle.
Yeah, it looks like you put your fucking just put your thumb in like a pound of ground meat.
Yeah.
And just
it's not good. It's not good.
I don't like it at all. And also one of the worst Jasons, maybe my least.
Well, it would have been a fine Jason if he had been in the movie more than fucking 20 seconds before he got annihilated by the Air Force, whoever the fuck killed him, the SWAT team.
Eat this heart, motherfucker.
Woo-wee.
Yeah, and that scene was even cool. Like the FBI scene was cool.
But then he's dead, and then everybody's just passing around his fucking goddamn heart like it's a liver special at Golden Corral. Look have this.
I need this. Yeah, it looks like shit. I don't like it either. It's got all bubbly head, bubble guts going on. All right, so what's your next worst mask? Since we both agree on that one.
Well, my next word. Okay, so I went to this one. Even though I don't hate the mask per se because it looks okay. It's because of the reveal of it, and I didn't like it. And I feel like there was a little switcheroo to the fans. It's the Friday the 13th Part 5 mask. The Roy Burns mask. Now I know that, and I've also grown to love that movie over time. I hated it when it first came out, but I do feel like a switcheroo occurred, and maybe they were giving signs because the blue check marks on the mask. The mask itself is fine, but the fact that it's really not Jason, it's low on the fucking list. So I have to put it there just because it's like, buying listen, I wanted to get a Jason mask, but I got it from wish.com. So it's my wish.com mask, but it looks cool, but it's not really Jason underneath of it. So I got to give it I'm good.
Once again, we are in agreement. That is also my next worst mask, is the Roy Burns mask. Just because you said it yourself, like it's not Jason, and it's got light blue mask, which is a red herring immediately. It's got those light blue check marks. It's like, I know Jason didn't wear this, so it might as well just be. It's like it's like when someone tells you bought a game used jersey, and it's like, no man, that shit never went on Eli Manning's back. Like I'm not wearing that shit. It's not. Jason never even wore this mask, so to me, it's fucking.
You thought it was a genuine Jordan jersey from Chicago Bulls, and it turns out when he was with the Wizards, and you're like, fuck that! I don't want that shit.
Yeah,
I don't want the Wizards jersey. I thought it was the Bulls jersey. All I said in the description, it was a Jordan jersey. You're stupid.
This shit belonged to fucking Steve Kerr.
I'd wear a Steve Kerr jersey.
I love Steve Kerr. I couldn't think of a word like Luke Longley. We'll go with Luke Longley or BJ Armstrong. All right, what's your next worst mask?
Coming in at hot on number 11 is going to be the Friday the 13th Reboot Backhead. Not that it was a bad mask per se, but again, the Backhead had to show up at some point. I feel like it looked like that motherfucker had a California King on. There was one part where it was like all straight triangled up, and I don't know, it just looked weird. Not that it's a bad mask. It's just, first off, it didn't look fucking functional at all. Like it looked like he was blind in that mask half the time. Like at least in the original mask, they tore a big enough hole for his dumb shit deformed eyeball to see out of. This one, it looked like you had to be squinting hard, fucking see out of that one little eyeball that he ripped out. I just don't like that mask at all. I just feel like it's, and you know, and I know why they did it in the 2009 remake, because they were trying to get through everything, because the Backhead is a very important part of Jason history. But I feel like, you know, fuck it, just skip that part and let's get right to the mask. So the Backhead part, I'm not really into it.
I like that Stacey James said, "I'm with Jay so far, even though our picks have been exactly the same so far."
I'm with you, Stacey. I got you back till the end of the line, pal.
We both said that.
Hey, little do you know that Stacey is my Bucky. I can do this all day.
I literally said the same goddamn thing. No, yeah, actually, I disagree with this one. This is not my next worst one, so we do disagree at this point. My next worst one after that is going to be, which, you know, they're not terrible at this point, but my next one on the list would be, where is it? Let me find it here. Where are you? The Freddy vs. Jason mask. And yeah, I know a lot of people like this one or whatever, and the reason it's so low on my list is because it just doesn't do anything.
Is it the hair? Is it like the little strand of hair? Because that always bothered me a little bit too.
Well, I don't even count the hair because it's just the mask that we're talking about here. So I'm just thinking of the mask. Like Jason's looks could be a whole different thing. It just, to me, it just didn't ever. I mean, it's the same mask with some fucking dirt rubbed on it. You know what I mean? Like, so it just didn't. It never really stood out to me. I think it's one of the least stand-outable ones of the entire franchise. It doesn't even have the axe cut.
Yeah, they did leave that part out. I always liked that mask a little bit though, because it did look more original, and it did look at least as far as they could go back to the original. I hated that fucking strand of hair, dude. You know why? Because when you look at that picture straight on, he looks like fucking Vega from Street Fighter. you know who Vega? You remember Vega with the claws? He looks like Vega. I wish they just. I was like, look, before he killed me, I would just be like, hey man, I got some scissors in my back pocket. Let me just snip that off a little bit, and you're gonna look good. Just let me. I hate that fucking strand. I don't know why it throws the mask off. I have the mask a little higher on my list, but I can see why you don't like that one.
Yeah, and Stacey James actually says it perfectly. It's the eye holes. I didn't notice it before, but they're so oval, like they're so tiny circles, and his eyes look weird behind it. It just doesn't look right to me. You know what I mean? It just seems like it seemed like a Spirit Halloween fucking Jason mask or whatever. But anyways, what's your next one?
So my next one is and I hated to put this so low on the list because I really do enjoy this movie. I put Friday the 13th, the reboot mask on there. I don't know why.
We agree again.
And you know, first off, Stacy's on my team, so you could stop trying to pretend. The reason is, and I don't know what it is, man. And I love Derek Mears. I thought Derek Mears was an awesome Jason. I think he's an awesome guy in general. I've seen his interviews. That guy, I would buy him an ice cream cone like that. But he also, it was the fucking, I don't know. It was like the masks didn't fit his fucking face. You know, his neck was too big. This motherfucker looked like the bad guy in The Mask putting on the mask. You remember the bad guy when he puts the mask on? Like his neck is too big, his head is too big, and it just doesn't work.
That's a great analogy.
But I love that movie, and so I don't want people to think that we don't love that movie. But that mask is not that good. I mean, I got to be honest, it's just not that good.
Yeah, and it's like it's kind of has the same Freddy vs. Jason in that it's the same mask. There's nothing really special about it, but it really doesn't fit his head very well. It's also like the Jason Goes to Hell mask because his head is almost coming out and bubbling over top of the mask in a weird way. Like there's nothing wrong with it.
That goddamn pizza roll should have been taken out of the oven about 2 minutes ago.
Yeah,
you roid rage, like, bro.
I don't even dislike it. Like, and now we're at the point where like Jason doesn't have very many bad masks. So now we're at the point where like these aren't even bad. Like I don't even notice it when I watch the movie. But if you're ranking it, it's just not as good as the ones we're getting ready to talk about.
Well,
what's your next one?
Honestly, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I'm going to go to the next one too. But the thing about these masks is that well, you have Michael Myers and like Michael Myers masks, they are they're varied. I mean, you can really tell the differences in masks, I think, from one movie to the next pretty easily because they use different molds and things like that. Jason generally has pretty much a uniform type of mask. So there's only slight variations. It was a little hard for even, I almost couldn't make the fucking list because like one looks as good as the other. It's like, as long as I know that motherfucker's got a hockey mask on, I'm sold. Like
this one does kind of look like vacuum sealed to his fucking face. Like it found him and stuck to his goddamn face. Like I can't.
In the reboot mask. Yeah, that motherfucker left that banana in that Ziploc bag too long. There's no doubt. But yeah, okay. So my next one, I put and I guess this would be it. It wasn't the big. Okay, so it's Jason X, but it's not the beginning part of Jason X when he is in the underground bunker. It's the Uber Jason.
I didn't include the beginning mask either. And also, by the way, this is my pick as well. So we agree once again on this one.
So Jason X, the Uber mask, that was my next favorite. Yep. And the reason why is it was so different and out there and non-traditional that I was like, man, they're going out here on a limb. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't look like something you would get at a fucking county, county fair, like as a prize, that they're trying to make it look like Jason, but it really didn't work. But it kind of looks like Skeletor is underneath of it a little bit. But I still enjoyed it just because it was fucking rough. When he gets that mask and got the red eyes and he starts fucking shit up on the space station, man, I got to be honest, and half his body is cybernetic. I'm like, you got nowhere else to go. You're in space. Let's have a good fucking time. So I put that up there, but it's not like, it's obviously not a traditional Jason mask, but it's kind of cool, man. It's kind of the color, the silver part, the platinum is what I wanted him to have on the entire time during Jason Goes to Hell. Like just the platinum part.
It's cool. Like, it's a cool idea. It's neat. But he also just looks like he went into a fucking Home Depot and like went to the toaster section and like, you know, just fucking stuck his face.
His face looks like he face fucked the toaster.
There's no doubt. He looks like Shredder went and picked up the wrong mask that day. And his eyes, he kind of looks like a weird, like fucking like rabies filled goat.
But he's scary as fuck sitting in that hallway.
Yeah, like it's cool, but also you're like, goddamn, what Power Rangers movie set were you supposed to be on today? Like, we're
Zordon's latest
movie.
creation.
Like, why are you here? Yeah, like, what are you doing here? And like, he looks like a fucking grater that you grate cheese with. Like, it just doesn't like. It's cool. I like it. But if you look too long at it, you know, just like I can't. He looks like Deadpool. Fuck the.
What
toaster.
I like about it is like I think from far away,
I don't know.
You can appreciate it, but it's like liking Def Leppard in the 80s. You enjoy it when no one's around, but you would never admit it out loud. It's like Nickelback today. It's like, I enjoy some of their songs, but I will never tell anybody that I rock it out to Nickelback.
Exactly. Yeah, dude. He is the Jason version of the Super Nintendo Super Scope that we got. That the fucking missile, or the missile launcher looking thing, the Super Scope gun. He's like, you did too much, dog. Like, it's just
it's that one person that kept going with the plastic surgery and like, why you do that though? Why you do that though? It was good enough with your facelift. Holy shit.
Yeah, it looks like a fucking vent in a
house. I still enjoy it, and I gotta
cool.
give it up to him, dude, for Jason X. The fact that it was almost a throwaway movie, and it was really just an in-between movie before Freddy versus Jason, and they got Kane Hodder to come back. They at least tried something different that had never been done before, and radicalizing that mask, because no one had ever had the balls to do it. The most they'd ever done was the Roy Burns mask, like completely, you know, with the blue hash mark. So at least they went out and tried something. So I'm like, I got to give him credit for that.
He looks like he sounds like Bane.
He was.
I told you not to come to this camp, and now you're all in big trouble.
He was Bane's father.
He's Bane's daddy. Oh shit! What's the next one on your list?
Well, you haven't got yours.
No, that is.
Oh, we agreed on. Okay, so it's funny because people will be like, "Oh, so Jay and Mike didn't agree on that because Mike was riding it harder." I was like, "No, not really. We both agreed." So my next one is so Friday the 13th Part 7. And I think that's my favorite. I think that is my favorite Friday the 13th movie, New Blood. I think that's the New Blood. Yeah. I like that movie. I like the movie itself a lot. I do like how they handle, and that was also Kane Hodder's first appearance as Jason. And also you got the breathing thing, the mannerisms of what people would come to know forever as Jason Voorhees, the way that Kane Hodder portrayed him. The mask itself, fuck that. I don't need to see his half face with some gingivitis going on in the side teeth, because that was the one thing I didn't like about it. It was like, I know it was supposed to be fucked. Yeah, it was all fucked up. I was like, God damn, those piranha have been going at you since you've been under that lake. But I was like, I wish I know that telekinetic girl had brought him back to life, or telepathy, or Charles Xavier farted and he came back to life, or however the fuck they explained it. But I was like, could you not kind of repair his mask a little bit too? Because the only thing, again, it goes back. I don't want to see some of their face. I know that's cool. Like, some people don't mind it and they like that. That's cool for them. I don't like seeing that much of their face. I mean, and the fact that you could see half his fucking half his chompers. I was not like, I wasn't a fan of that, but overall the mask was fine. I thought it was better than for sure the Jason X mask because it's still a traditional Jason mask.
Yeah. And this is where we start to disagree hardcore because that one's a lot higher on my list. So I won't comment yet until I get to mine. But my next one would be actually, you already talked about it a little bit, but my next one on the list would actually be once again old Backhead, but from the reboot.
Oh, you like that one?
Like I like it because like it's inventive. It gets the people fucking going. I mean, yeah, does it look like a ripoff of The Town That Dreaded Sundown? Mm-hmm. Sure. But you know, I just thought that in the realm of the movie that they were doing where they're rebooting Jason, I was really excited that they were throwing a bone to Friday the 13th Part 2, an old Backhead Jason in a 2009 film, because that version of Jason is so often forgotten about. I was so excited to see it, number one. And number two, they updated it a little bit. They took old Friday the 13th Part 2 Jason and they gave him like, this motherfucker looks like he could be on a J. Crew ad or like standing out in front of fucking Abercrombie with the new face masks. Like it looks pretty goddamn good.
I always thought his face looked like he got vacuum sucked from a vacuum cleaner. Like it looked like that mask was way too fucking.
It's pretty tight.
Well, yeah, I was like, what kind? Did you get the extra small potato sack? Like, I mean, was it?
He went to Men's Warehouse. He got that shit. Like he got that.
That shit was tailored. You know? But I mean, I was like, holy shit, man! You were supposed to be grabbing a regular potato sack out of nowhere, and you grabbed one that just fit you right. Like I don't know, it just and they had the fucking little.
It does.
I don't know. Like at least the original one made sense because it really did look like he found it out of nowhere.
Yeah, he's like, no, I want
this motherfucker sexy. Was fitted for him during his 14th birthday.
I see what you're saying. What's your next one?
Okay, so I think number 7. Okay, so number 7 for me, I actually have Freddy versus Jason mask on there, the traditional mask.
Okay.
We already talked about that, so I don't need to go into it. I have problems with it, but I do enjoy that mask better because at least it covers his fucking face. I don't like that strand of hair like he's a goddamn witch on the mountaintops trying to create the biggest pumpkin that anyone's ever seen. Because that little strand of hair, that's what I think of. I think of like a fucking warlock or a witch with a mask on trying to be like, oh, this is going to be my greatest pumpkin. I hate that stringy like fucking hair. It's you know what, and it's one of those things. It's like
he looks stupid. He's
well,
like,
that's what I mean. It's like, hey man, I walked down a Tractor Supply. Come on down here and get yourself a John Deere. Don't believe me? Well, fuck you. But like, I don't know. I get like OCD about that. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just like we get mad about Halloween 5. The mask is bad in of itself, but the fact that he didn't tuck that shit in, it fucking bothers me. I don't like to see that little strand of hair, that little rat tail. It's like, are we back in 1995? Are kids really having the rat tails with a little bead around it? Like, cut that shit off. Stop it. But I still like it better than the other ones that were on the list so far.
Okay. Yeah. And, you know, you guys got my thoughts on that one. My number 7 is going to be, where'd it go? Where are you, you motherfucker? Where are you, little shit? Holy shit, I can't find it. I can't.
Are you talking about your list or your wiener?
Okay.
Where are you, you little shit? I found it. You're supposed to be hard.
I found it. It's Jason Takes Manhattan. It's my next mask on the list. And this because look, it's more the movie than it is the mask. And I know you're not supposed to do that in these situations, but the problem here is that like the movie just sucks so fucking much ass. And the mask, like so many of the masks look the same anyways. There are some great shots like this one where you do see Jason in Manhattan, and just seeing the mask in Manhattan does give it some extra points. But like it's the same mask and you've seen in so many movies. The weird, if you look at the axe break in the top, it looks like it's almost somehow healed itself, which makes no sense that the axe cut would be there because in part 7 he was missing half of his fucking mask, so the continuity's all fucked off for me. And also I just hate the goddamn movie, so that's why it lands for me here. It's still a classic looking, good looking
Manhattan is way up on the list for me. I mean, hi, goddamn, this is my first time smoking weed, so I can't comment on it, but I will agree that it's distracting as far as like the movie is so bad that it's almost, you can't really even appreciate how good I think overall it looks like an amazing costume, but
but this is we vary differently on this one, so I'll let you talk about that when you get yours. But like so we're at 7. What's your 6?
Mine would be part 3D. So Friday the 13th part 3D was my next favorite mask. I do like it. It's a little clean, but it's got the axe mark in it. I do appreciate that. And I feel like his costume overall, he looked fucking deadly. He looked sexy deadly. And I liked it. I mean, there was like enough of nastiness about him. And you're like, oh man, that guy probably smells like pure butthole. But at the same time, you knew there was like a ninja mastery in him. I don't know. Like this guy was clean. Like, it was clean, and it was clean kills. It was smooth. I don't know why, but when I think of Jason, there's a few masks that come to mind, but that one in particular, I don't know why, but that mask always hits my fucking frontal lobes right away. Yeah. One of the few times, like there's a few other masks that do as well, more than once, but that one for sure, man. I don't know why I love that mask so much, but I really do love it. I just love it.
I love it too. Yeah, I absolutely fucking adore it. And I'll talk about it when we get to that point in the thing. But so where the fuck were we at? Okay, so my number 6 is actually going to be Jason Lives, which is. Yes, here we are. Now it's the masks, not the outfits. The outfits, I've got a whole lot to say about it. We'll have to do a whole nother video on the outfits, but the mask itself, again, it's just one of those for me. It's and now we're getting to the point now, obviously, where Jason doesn't have a lot of bad masks.
That's true. Yeah,
most of Jason's masks are pretty fucking good. So now we're at the point like, why do we love them so much? Not why do we hate them so much? And for this one, it's just a solid fucking Jason mask. You know, you don't have the stripes on the cheeks. You have the one triangle in the middle. They do have the cut in the corner from part 3D when he got axed, and it's just solid. I mean, it's perfect middle of the road for the list. Just a solid mask. Not a whole lot to even say about it.
And the weird thing, once we start getting through these, and I mean, of course, there's a lot more fans that could go into more detail about these masks. Mike and I we're Michael Myers fans. Okay, we admit it. We like that, stuck that tit, but. I don't know. It's weird when you get into these like upper levels of the Jason mask. It's really hard to distinguish. One mask is almost as good as the other mask. So
yeah,
I don't know, but I agree.
Like I always say, one good turn deserves another. Chocolate covered pretzel. Eh?
No one will stink palm me, sir. So okay,
what's your 5?
My number 5 would be part 2. So that's the original Backhead. And you got to give it up for the original Backhead. First off, it's the first time you're introduced to Jason himself, and it starts the fucking franchise as far as what we know of it today. It separates itself completely from the Pamela Voorhees character, and Jason goes out on his own goddamn, testosterone hormone driven. I need a woman rage at all these titties that he sees at Crystal Lake, but he's only got money for a potato sack, and you got to give credit to a man that starts from a potato sack. And he graduates to a hockey mask, slicing titties up like he don't give a shit. But the reality of it is the Backhead Jason is fucking terrifying. It's really scary, man. And I'm not saying that, obviously the hockey mask is iconic and it belongs in the Jason franchise for sure. But if you're talking about a crazed killer that lives out in the woods, probably not going to have access to something like a goddamn hockey mask or anything like that. So a potato sack makes sense that they would just use to cover their deformed, ugly ass Toxic Avenger face from Troma Studios, cover, one eye and then start fucking shit up. That's scary to me because what's terrifying is that probably or possibly could have happened in the past that we don't even like. I mean, it's like, that's what's scary. Like, you're not going to usually run across a killer that's like, oh, so I found a Wayne Gretzky hockey mask and I put that on. And I feel like the Backhead Jason is, and of course it's all fantasy, we know this, but I feel like that's the most realistic version of a crazed killer in the woods, Jason Voorhees, that we've ever gotten.
It's my number 5 too, dude. So we're on the same page here once again. It's my number 5 as well. And I agree with everything you just fucking said. I just think that, like, okay, so if you go from the original Jason, and there is no Jason, it's fucking Pamela with her goddamn
he's only mentioned like, oh!
Oh! I can't swim.
Don't you go across the lake with the boat, because I'll kill you.
I like that this motherfucker popped out of the water, and all the cops and the girl in the boat in the original were like, God damn, you're fucking ugly. So like this bag was just, what happened after the events at the end of the first Friday the 13th? Poor Jason Voorhees like fucking just stumbled around back to his goddamn camp. He's like, I gotta put something on my fucking face. I'm hideous. And he found the first thing.
No one loves me ever. No one.
Yeah, he probably got a fucking pillowcase just to put over his head. Because let's be honest, if
He got that from Pillow Pants.
If you watched Friday the 13th Part 2 and you saw that corner window shot, that beautiful shot of Jason running down the hill going to kill somebody, and you saw that dude's face that you saw pop out of there, running through it, you'd fucking laugh. So even Jason was like, "You hate me, don't you? I'm fucking ugly." So he found just anything, the first thing he could. He's not fancy. He's not going to go to J. Crew. He's not going to go to the Gap. He's just going to find the first thing he can to throw on his ugly ass fucking face. And he's like, I wouldn't even fuck me without a bag on my head.
Would you fuck me?
I don't care how.
I wouldn't fuck me.
Jason doesn't care how ripped he is. Like, he doesn't care how fucking ripped he is from all these days working the lands and swimming. He's like, I am fucking. He looked at it. He finally found a goddamn mirror in one of the counselors' houses now that they're all dead and they let him in to look at these fancy things like mirrors. And he was like, God damn. And he grabbed the fucking pillowcase, threw it on. I don't think it was meant to be scary. I honestly think that this was a sympathy mask for his victim.
Yeah, well, you know, well, his mask does look like he grabbed it. It looks like it's his bedding that he'd taken multiple dumps in and wiped multiple crustaceans without representation on them and just grabbed it and wrapped it around his head. Look, the thing about, and again, you know, we're fans of Michael Myers for sure, but as far as a killer that is frugal as fuck, Jason's the guy. He's a frugal bitch, and no one can ever say that because listen, he did a lot of damage with a fucking potato sack that had butt marks on it. He had butt marks on his potato sack, the mask, and he had one eye.
I'm not trying to be fucking fancy.
Yeah, because you know Michael had to go out. He had to get the William Shatner mask, and then he had to spray paint it. And oh my god! And he had to style the hair and put gel in it. This motherfucker just found a potato sack and be like, that's good enough. Fuck it. He's like the goddamn Kane of the killers. He's Kane.
Honestly, we're just lucky that Jason's dumbass, when he was trying to take it off or put it on, didn't accidentally strangle himself with a rope because he's so stupid.
But he would have come back. He would have been the same way when in part 3. He's like, ooh.
But he was tactical though, right? Like he at least thought to put a rope around it so it would stay in the same spot. Because you know, at first when he first tried it on, imagine Jason standing in front of a fucking mirror, just putting a pillowcase on his head or a potato sack bag on his head, and like faking like he's stabbing in the mirror, and like the mask moves so like he can't see his eyeball, and he's like, well, this isn't gonna work. So he finds a little leather strand and ties it around. He's like, this will keep it in place. Like Jason is like, in a way, this is for his victims. Like he's kind of got a baby's mind, and he doesn't want them to see how fucking fugly.
You know what it is
when he's slaughtering.
You know what
them.
it is. At the end of the day, Jason is the Ron Jeremy of the killers. He doesn't care how ugly he looks. He doesn't care how much of a pot belly he has, but he knows he's got the schlong to do the job, and that's all he cares about. He's literally Ron Jeremy.
Good for you, Jason.
Yeah, that's it, Jason.
Good for you.
You can go out there with a potato sack and kill them, Jason, because mother wants you to. Don't worry. But you know what? But, you know, his mom would be like, because, you know, he's like, but mom, I mean, Michael down the street is wearing Oshkosh Magosh, and I'm wearing like nothing. I'm wearing like Walmart clothes. Like, it doesn't matter what you wear, Jason. It matters about the body count.
Patricia said he looks like he robbed the My Pillow guy. He looks like this is the Marshall's version of like a fancy fucking. You got this at Marshall's. You needed some pillow cushions. Got it at Marshall's. Honestly, I think we're all just lucky that he found a pillowcase or a potato sack instead of what he could have found, which is just a bag of Lay's potato chips. I want everyone to close your eyes and imagine Jason running down that hill in Friday the 13th Part 2 with a fucking bag of Lay's on his head, like a family pack of Lay's on his head with an eye hole cut out.
I'd have been fine. You know what?
Funny would that be?
Is the body count still the same? Fuck it. Lay's potato chip goes up. Jason body count goes up. Win-win situation.
That should be fucking hilarious.
Win-win situation.
Motherfucker's got family-sized Lay's. That'd be so fucking funny. Oh, fuck. What's your next one?
Okay, so my number four is Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter. Again, it's not really much different from, to me, as much as 3D. It's a little bit more damage, a little bit more fucked up, and that's why I think I like it. But I mean, there was I don't know, like, again, it's one of those masks, and again, I'm not going to go into a very big, giant analysis of why I like this mask, but for me, it's Jason. When I look at that mask, I see Jason. And for the same reasons why if I look at 3D, I see Jason, but I don't know. It was a little bit more damage, but it it was clean too, but it was more deadly. I don't know. Did that motherfucker sharpen it? It's like seeing Super Shredder. Like you know what the Shredder looked like in the original TMNT movie in 1990, and then when the Super Shredder shows up after he gets rescued from that dog turd of a trap when he was crushed to death, and then he starts he starts sawing his helmet to points, and he's like, only they know who did this to me, and he's putting his helmet on. I'm like, whoa. I was like, that's Shredder, but it's a more badass Shredder. So I like this. I like Jason in this one because it just looks like this goddamn Jason. Look, you fucked my head up. I got a headache. I'm mad. I got a white skin because I've been in water for a long time. I'm gonna fucking kill you, and then I'm gonna take your Motley Crue collection. I think he's deadly. He looks deadly.
Yeah, it's a great fucking mask, dude. I'll save me talking about it until I get to mine, but it is a great fucking mask. My number 4 is gonna be part 7. You talked about it a little bit already. It was lower on. What was this one on yours? This was
part 7. What was the actual name? What was
New Blood?
Oh yeah, that was further down. That was
yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, I had a lower one on it.
This is something we were drunkenly arguing on the other day because, and I get what you're saying, like it shows too much of his face, but I thought overall, this Ghost Jason, had the best fucking look of all the Jasons, and we'll talk about that in another video sometimes. But just the fact that, why
don't you just argue with me constantly?
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm
honey. Kidding, baby.
So many of these masks don't stand out. Like, they don't stand out on their own. They look the same. Jason Lives, again, it's a cool mask, but it doesn't stand out. This fucking mask is fucking different from all the other masks. It both has the cut from Friday the 13th Part 3. It's got the classic look of the Jason masks, but the fact that the side is so fucked up and edged on the way out so that you can see his fucked up grotesque ghost face makes it one of my
I don't like, dude, is it looks like the motherfucker got he was eating goober grape and it got stuck on his fucking side and it squished through his mask. It looks like fucking goober grape. From this angle, it looks like goober grape. I don't like it.
He looks like he got a right hook from Mike
Well, I
Tyson.
don't like that. Okay, my Jason's supposed to be complete. Give me my complete mask, bitch.
I love this mask.
But he does look scary.
If you put it, yeah, even though it's just the mask that we're talking about, when you put that mask on and that face underneath it, it just adds a whole, I wouldn't have a problem if somebody said this is their favorite mask in the franchise. I would be like, I get it. I think it has the most character because it's been through the most, and it's just fucking
the thing is,
man, I like it.
I just think it's somebody saw that, they're like, they'll be like, all chomper fucking Jason.
And he could finally eat this mask. It's just like pushes
but
to
7
the
is,
side.
but hey, look, I had 7 masks low on my list, but as far as the movie goes, I love the movie. So, and Kane Hodder, Kane Hodder set the precedent for Jason in that movie. So it is what it is. Yeah. So my number 3, we're on 3 right now, is and a big props to them for you really showcasing this is Never Hike in the Snow or Never Hike Alone. I think those guys over at Womp Stomp Films did a fucking phenomenal job with not only retelling or recapturing the Jason spirit, which they did awesome. They also put a new costume together as far as a new look, in my opinion, kind of based on all the other Jason masks before, in a way that makes it stand apart. It's amazing to see Jason in the snow, and I think the mask, I mean, that motherfucker didn't go G.I. Joe camo or anything like that. The mask isn't super white or anything to match him with the snow. He didn't go camo for it, but it just looks like a really solid, awesome, badass original Jason mask that's not undamaged, but you could tell it's been through some battles, but it's still got the character that it needs to have for it to have its own story. And those guys fucking knocked it out of the park, man. I love that mask. And when if you didn't know if that was from a fan film and it was just a mask, you're like, holy shit, when did they fucking film with that mask? Because that mask is that good. That's how good that mask is. And I just want to blow them. I want to blow the whole crew. Not with my mouth, but with a prostitute that I would hire for them. She would be cheap.
That was me.
Oh,
it was my mouth.
Mike's,
You made me
yes.
use my mouth, but I was happy.
Red Light District. But yeah, it's a phenomenal, solid mask.
She works hard for the money.
But it really is one of the better masks I've ever seen. As far as a Jason mask goes, one of the best masks I've ever seen. 100%.
Totally agree with you. I'll save my opinion for when I get to that one, but totally agree. And that's why we felt like, what does it say, you guys? How fucking wild, by the way, is it that these fan films that Womstom did were so fucking good that they had to be included?
That's what I mean, man.
Right?
And that's what I'm
wild,
saying.
dude.
And that's what's so impressive is the fact that this was a fan film. This means that this was a project that was fueled by passion and love for the franchise. And they were able to create this mask on their own without any kind of studio help or or anybody that, the awesome Academy Award winning Christopher Nelson, who would have helped them, I'm sure, because he could, but they didn't have anybody on set that could really do that. And they did it on their own. I think that's fucking phenomenal. It's amazing. That's the kind of shit that Mike and I would love to do with our own Michael Myers mask, but we don't talented enough and we're just stupid. But these guys did it, man.
Exactly.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It is
so beautiful.
Fucking beautiful. My number 3 is going to be, are we on 3? Are we on 4? Are we on 3? Are we on 4? We are
3. We're on 3.
3. We're on 3. My number 3, we already talked about it a little bit. It's Friday the 13th part 3D. And here's why. Look, we're
can't really argue with it.
Yeah, you can do the outfits, you can do the faces, you can do the actors that played them, but I've always had a soft spot for Friday the 13th Part 3D as a whole, and I'm sure that carries my opinion a little bit here because it's the original fucking Jason mask, man. It's the first one, and it happened to show up, and it happened to create this fucking this wild supernatural ride that the Friday the 13th franchise went on. And it was because of this mask that showed up on set basically by accident. You have all these guys in the Crystal Lake Memories documentary talking about, no, it was me who brought it out. It was me. I'm the one who did it. How wild is it that one of the most notable and iconic images in horror history was fucking on a whim? A bunch of dudes standing around a set going, hey, that looks cool. Put it on. Fuck, it works. This is the movie where we saw Jason.
Sounds like how I was born
for the first time.
It's like, yeah, don't wear a condom, just put it in. Fuck it. Let's see what happens.
Put this penis in this hole and see if a baby comes out in 9 months. Yeah, it's classic. Now, if it came 6 movies later, you'd be like, what is that? But it just holds a special place because it's the original. It's the very first. Nothing like it. And again, it could have just been. It could have just been any fucking hockey mask. Like. Just fate would just have it that this one had red marks on it, that this one looked a little bit different than your typical goalie mask. It could have been a shit fucking mask, but it was this one. And I'll go into in a different video, but this Jason's like my favorite.
Well, let me throw in something. Stacy's on my team. Well, Will Arwine is Mike's goddamn Bucky. I'm with Mike on these rankings.
What'd he say?
I'm with Mike on these rankings.
What'd he say?
I'm with Mike on these rankings. So fuck you.
Yeah.
So you got a fan. Hey, you know what? Yeah, you can be Tobey Maguire. It's nice to have a fan. Damn it. So yeah,
people like me too.
You got somebody. You got somebody on your side. Don't worry. Will Arwine is on your side. He's gonna fluff your nuts up.
Yes.
For you. So
finally, thanks.
But
Will.
I will say it is really interesting to how you mentioned that particular ranking as far as that's where your mask goes on there. It was like when you get a toy that's brand new that's not been damaged. When it's perfectly new and it's really sexy and no damage has come to it, you don't have to dust it. It's a brand new, nice out of the package toy. That's what that is. But I do appreciate it and I do love it because the fact that it was the first. And then
Dirk Jason Hall, thank you, buddy. He says Jason changes outfits like a stripper on a nickel.
Yeah.
He does. He moves it around a lot. He switches it up, my friend. He does. What's your next one, you fucking
I think we talked about this one too. I think it's Jason Lives is my number 2.
Oh, that's high for you.
Yes, I do like that one too.
Let me go back to it. Let me find.
I do like that one.
Jason Lives. Okay,
I do like that one.
Explain yourself.
Robert Kelly's press 1 for Jay, press 2 for Mike. Oh my God, we're getting into goddamn. Yeah,
it's a joke.
No, it's not a joke.
God.
It's not a joke. Fucking do it. No, it is a joke. Don't do it. It's stupid. It's stupid because all you're gonna do is break the channel up. And we're gonna go into the wolf.
I'm used to everyone.
We're gonna go to the NWO White and Black and the NWO Wolf Pack.
I have my own sense of
I like the Jason Lives one, man. I really do. I think it's a cool mask. Again, we're at a point where it's really hard to continuously describe or reason why these masks are so good or what they mean to me. But I mean, I think of Jason. I think of this mask. I think of my number 1 we haven't got to yet. But I think of Jason Lives. If you say Jason Voorhees, I think of this one. I don't know. I don't know why I like it so much, but I do. I really enjoy this mask a lot. And again, it's really hard to it's like trying to explain why you like fucking chocolate. Like, it's like, oh yeah, it's sweet and it's soothing and it goes down just the right way. Like, I don't know. It's like, oh yeah, when I'm in a bad mood and I'm depressed, oh my god, I had to have some chocolate. That's why I don't know. But when you get into this ranking part of the Jason masks, all the masks are good, really. I mean, and there's only variations on it. Like hardcore fans will definitely pick apart certain parts of the variations, but I think that Jason's masks itself, other than a few, are pretty much online as every other mask. So, but Jason Lives, it's a great mask, man. I don't know. I'm not. I don't want to. I don't want to delve deep into it.
Though. Like,
it just looks good, man. It looks good. I mean, it's got all the good, sexy things about it, right?
I get what you're saying. Like sometimes I just like what I like. God damn it.
Well, I mean, if you look at it,
I can't
that
explain
mask,
myself.
if you look at that mask, that motherfucker, it's covering his whole face except this weird like eggshell, green egg yolk skull, and it's got the slice in it. It's got the things. If they went, but maybe that's just because the way the camera shot it, it just looks really good. Like it looks really fucking solid, dude. Like I don't know that.
Yeah.
Like if you made me a poster with just that Jason mask, I'm like, okay, that feels good. I like that.
Yeah, even though my ranking's different, I totally get it. I understand what you mean. There's just like I think part like you can't help but be like that movie was so fucking awesome. Like it's partly due to the movie. Like you can't help it. You know what I mean? The movie was fucking great. What number were we on?
2.
We're on 2 now. Okay, so number 2 for me, Jay's already talked about it a little bit, and like it's crazy, man. Purely masks, and don't get me wrong, I love the movie. I love the fan. I thought it was great. But my number 2 favorite Jason mask of all time comes from a fan film. And
which one?
It's Jason hikes. Never hike in the snow. Never hike alone.
Yeah.
But you know, and so many of you guys are so awesome to us, and you're so cool that you've sent us these. And I look at them, you know, in my bunk when I'm jerking off at night.
Dan, we're only one ranking away from being on exactly the same.
Yeah, it's not far away. This is the one I always kind of jerk off to when I'm alone in my bunk. And like seriously though, like when you look at it, when you hold it in your hand, it doesn't have any of the red marks, any of the blue marks. It's just got this weird rustic oldness to it that is just fucking cool.
It's like sexy
this
Vikings.
mask. It's my second favorite mask of all time because it's cool without trying to be cool. Like I don't know, dude. I don't know what it is about this fucking mask, but it stands out to me so much more than so many of the masks in this franchise do. And it's old and it's creepy and it's cool and I just fucking.
It's like going to the mall and
mask.
you have your idea and you have your thought on like I want to get some Nikes. And you're like, that's what mom gave me money for, Nikes. And then you walk in and you see some fucking Air Jordans. And you're like, bro, I need about another $100,000 so I can buy these Air Jordan 16s or whatever the fuck they have. But yeah,
it just looks like an old ass fucking badass Jason mask that has seen many fucking camp counselors.
This motherfucker sailed over on a creaky boat and stole people's souls. I like it. But it really is. So yeah,
I want to pledge it. I want to get pledge and spray this fucking thing with, because it's like I have many leather bound books. That's what this mask tells me. It tells me that it has.
If you open the Necronomicon or the Grimoire, if you summon a demon, that's what it would look like. You're like, okay, this makes sense.
It's fucking dope.
Okay, so my number 1. So we're on the number 1. We're on the number 1. Holy shit, it's already happening right now. Okay, it's happening right now. Ready for your wieners to get hard? Well, mine is. It's going to be Manhattan. So Jason Takes Manhattan, a shitty, fucking, terrible goddamn movie. I don't know how you have a boat that gets from a lake to the goddamn Pacific and then it goes to New York, but whatever. We're not fucking talking about semantics here. Actually, it would be in the Atlantic because the Atlantic Ocean is part of the fucking Manhattan. Anyway, but overall, Kane Hodder and that costume with the chain around the neck, the decaying arm, the mask, it's still on his face, and the decaying, like, he looks so fucking cool, and he's built as shit. Dude, to me, that's fucking Jason, especially when he's just standing there in Times Square, and I think you have that picture pulled up. That is iconic. That's iconic Jason to me. No different than if I looked at iconic Michael Myers, or I looked at iconic Chucky, or iconic any of them. I don't know. This is Freddy Krueger. This is to me Jason Voorhees. He's pissed off. He's fucking mad. He's wet as shit. His shit is decayed. His mask is barely hanging on, but it's still doing its job. And he's ready to fuck up some boomboxers on Times Square. Like, to me, it's the Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's The Rock. It's all these motherfuckers coming down the ramp ready to do the job. I don't know. For me, Manhattan is the iconic Jason look. Not the iconic Jason movie by any stretch of the imagination, but the look.
I see where you're coming from, though. Like, as much as I disagree on your choice on this, I do see where you're coming from, because it's like the perfect amalgamation of original Jason and like
zombie Jason,
supernatural Jason.
Yeah.
Because like when you see him, whether or not the movie sucked and it was bullshit, seeing him power through Times Square with this Jason mask, it's like, in a weird way, even though it's not the perfect movie version of him, it is the perfect mask version of the look. I understand exactly.
Well, I mean, and the bill. I mean, again, I don't think anybody else could have played the part better than Kane Hodder. I think that if you don't have Kane Hodder,
killed it.
You know, in that suit and in that mask, it's not going to be as effective. But dude, and again, yes, you're right, 100%. The movie is garbage. It's complete garbage juice. But when Jason's on screen, especially when he gets brought up from the fucking ocean or the lake, and he's on the boat and he's breathing hard and he's doing all that shit, I swear to God, man, it's some of the best Jason I've ever seen in my life. And that's the Jason that I remember. When I was a kid, I remember that Jason, and that Jason to me will always be the real Jason. And it's interesting that you say that they blended the supernatural and the normal Jason into that one character, because they do that really effectively here. If you look at Jason Goes to Hell, it's all the way supernatural. This motherfucker's mask is ready to pop like a zit. Like, he's not even human anymore. He's walking around like a zombie. But in this one, he's still in the between situations. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like as far as intimidation factors, iconic factor, it's this one. And also I point out to Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, the most vicious, you could even say the New Blood to this one, the most vicious Jason. I mean, honestly, I put, if you put Halloween 6, Curse of Michael Myers up to Halloween 2018 was the most vicious Michael Myers. I feel like this particular version of Jason was the most vicious Jason that we ever saw. So I don't know. That's why I love it.
I get where your head's at on it. As much as I disagree, I totally get where your head's at on it. So that's your number one. My number one is going to be one we've already talked about a little bit, of course. But the last one we're going to talk about tonight is, where the fuck is this son of a bitch? It is the Final Chapter Jason. That is my favorite Jason mask of all time.
Okay, I had that on 4, so it was in the top 5.
Yeah, not too far away. And the reason is because, if you look at how much I adore the Friday the 13th Part 3D mask, it's so fucking classic. It was the original mask he got. It was fucking just like all the reasons I said I love the Part 3D mask. Now, add to that, now we have this badass slash in the top corner of his head, and it's got the blood sparks on it. Now, add to that this is the best or second best, pretty much unarguably. It's either Jason Lives or Friday the 13th Part 4 as far as which two are the best in the franchise for most people. That this is the best or second best movie in the franchise, some of the most memorable moments. I think that this mask is the best for me. It's the continuation of what he went through in Part 3D when he first got the mask. It's the awesome fucking axe slash in it. It's the fact that this is one of the most iconic fucking Jason movies. And it just, to me, this mask, it holds inside of itself both the classic Jason mask and the variations. It's just the best. It's the mix of the best.
And
it
also had a great story.
It just does it.
The story was amazing.
Yeah, like it was the first one. Like literally, like I know other masks had the slash in the head. From that classic axe slash from Part 3. I know they had it, but this was a continuation of that. Like, and that, to me, that makes it special. This is the first time you saw Jason come out and be like, oh, fuck, he's definitely supernatural. You know what I mean? Motherfucker took an axe to the head and is ugly as shit.
Yeah, and he turned a Goonie to shave his head.
Yeah, he
turned a Goonie.
It's a quintessential Jason mask to me, like of all of them. Like if 1978's Michael Myers mask is the quintessential Michael Myers mask, to me, this is the quintessential Jason mask, because when he got it, it was almost too fresh. It was like store-bought fresh. He got it from Shelly, but this saw some fucking murders, and it's just the perfect one to me. That's the one I would own if I could own any mask.
You're like you're the fan of the David Lee Roth Van Halen, and I'm more of the Sammy Hagar.
Exactly, but we're both right.
We're both right. It's both still good music. But yeah, man,
Yeah.
there you go. What a great list.